Welcome back to Message Crawler Video Manual. In this chapter, I'm going to answer frequently asked questions. Now, the reason some of these questions came up is because I either did not answer them properly during previous parts of Video Manual or because I did not brought enough attention to those specific points. So let me answer a few of the questions that have recently came up. The first question that came up is, how do I unselect a field? Let's say I've selected a field in Message Crawler and I actually don't want to map anything to message type. Well, I know I did not explain it well enough, and I need to put some kind of label on the user interface, but the way you do it is you right-click on message type or the header. So anytime you click on a header, it unselects all the fields. I know I will do a better job at clarifying that in the future versions to make sure everyone knows. But that's how you can do it. If you select something, right-click, it will unselect that field. Next question is about Slack data. I have multiple JSON files. Do I have to convert each one of them individually? Yes, you do. So if you have channels.json, DMs.json, other JSON files, you need to load each one into Message Crawler, download attachment, and perform conversion from beginning to end. And then go to the next JSON file, open it, and keep going through the process. Each JSON file, treat it as a separate job, separate project, so you need to handle them separately. You do not need to open users.json. That will be loaded automatically. And integration logs.json is just an information file. You don't need to load that as well. Next question is, do I have to read RSMF documentation on Relativity's website? Can I just click a button and have it all done for me? And the answer is unfortunately no. RSMF file format is a very complicated format, and you should try to be as familiar with intricacies of the file format as you can be, as your technical skills allow. So go to Relativity's website, find Relativity short message file format, and read what needs to go into it, understand what fields are required. The reason for that is Message Crawler works with data you give it. So if you give bad data to the conversion software, the results are also going to be, well, I wouldn't say bad, but only as good as the data you put in. And for that specific reason, you need to understand what data needs to go into RSMF. Give that data to Message Crawler so it's able to perform conversion and output good quality file format. So for example, if you supply it with just a date field without a time, the process will work. Message Crawler will process the data, but you're probably not going to be happy with the results of the RSMF files without a time field. Sure, it'll work, you'll be able to read the messages, but it's not the best you can get. So perhaps you'll need to take a couple of steps, and before you export data from forensic software or somewhere else, is to create that time date and time field together and give that to Message Crawler so you get more accurate results at the end. And finally, the question I get a lot: how many messages can I put per RSMF file? Can I put lots of data into it? And the answer is yes. You can put lots of data. You can put up to 10,000 messages per RSMF file. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. In fact, I would recommend putting smaller sets of data per RSMF file. The reason for me is I'm always thinking about what is going to be the next step for the data. How am I going to be producing it? How am I going to be sharing it with the other side? Now, different people have different priorities. If you just looking to review the data as quickly as possible, creating big RSMF files does make sense. You can put a whole Slack channel into one file. However, if this is an active litigation and you're going to be producing this data, it makes sense to chop it up into smaller pieces. So that is something you want to think about ahead of time and divide up your messages before loading to Relativity. So then you are able to act on those messages, pick out section of those messages, for example, a day's worth, and then image it and put it in the production set and share it with whoever needs to see it. All right, that's it. That's all I have for this FAQ. As more questions will come up, I will make a subsequent FAQ 2, 3, 4 video and so on. Thank you for joining me in this Message Crawler video manual. If you have any questions, comments, please put them in the comment section below or email me directly, and I will see you in the next chapter of Message Crawler video manual.